Marvin, a man of simple pleasures, stumbled upon the crypto kingdom. He liked his coffee black and his investments boring. Index funds, bonds, the occasional government savings bond. That was Marvin's speed. But the allure of easy money, that's a siren song. Even the most cautious can't resist. He saw the headlines, Bitcoin billionaire at 25 and Dogecoin to the moon. Marvin, armed with his trusty dial-up internet, was ready to dive in. He didn't understand blockchain, but he knew it had something to do with computers and maybe a chain. It didn't matter. Marvin was ready to ride this digital gravy train all the way to Easy Street. Little did he know the crypto kingdom was less a gravy train, more a roller coaster designed by a sugar-crazed toddler. Marvin's first foray into this brave new world? WoofCoin. Why? The website had a picture of a Shiba Inu wearing sunglasses. Solid investment strategy, right? He remortgaged a small portion of his house. Don't tell his wife, Brenda. Pooled together his emergency funds and bought one WoofCoin for a cool $5,000. To the moon, he declared to Brenda, who was more concerned about the sudden disappearance of their emergency tuna casserole fund. Marvin, however, was convinced he was on the cusp of financial greatness. He was now a crypto kingpin, a master of the decentralized universe. At least that's what he told Brenda while she was busy clipping coupons. The crypto kingdom had its own language. Choyodl, they said, not hold, mind you, H-O-Y-O-D-L. It stood for hold on for dear life, which, in retrospect, might have been a warning sign. This term was coined during a time of market volatility, urging investors to stay strong and not sell their assets in a panic. Then there was FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. These three emotions could wreak havoc on the market, causing prices to plummet. Marvin learned this one the hard way when he panicked and sold half his WoofCoin after reading a particularly nasty Reddit thread about Shiba Inus and their susceptibility to fleas. The thread was filled with misinformation, but it was enough to shake Marvin's confidence. The post had nothing to do with cryptocurrency, but you can never be too careful, right? In the world of crypto, even the smallest rumor could lead to massive sell-offs. He also discovered whales who weren't majestic ocean creatures, but rather individuals who could manipulate the market with a single click. These whales held large amounts of cryptocurrency, and their trades could cause significant market shifts. It was like playing poker with a bunch of anonymous sharks. Except Marvin didn't know the rules of poker, and he was pretty sure some of the sharks were actually teenagers in their parents' basements. The crypto world was a wild west, filled with jargon and unpredictability, and Marvin was just trying to keep up. WoofCoin, much like the real dogs it was named after, was prone to unpredictable behavior. It was a wild ride from the start, capturing the imaginations of investors everywhere. People were drawn to its quirky charm and the promise of quick riches. One day, it was soaring higher than a hawk on Red Bull. Investors were ecstatic, watching their fortunes grow exponentially. The excitement was palpable, and everyone wanted a piece of the action. Marvin was checking his portfolio every 5 minutes, convinced he could retire early and finally buy that boat he'd always dreamed of. A modest rowboat, but still. He imagined lazy afternoons on the lake, fishing and enjoying the tranquility. The next day, WoofCoin was plummeting faster than a lead balloon filled with cement. Panic set in as investors watched their gains evaporate. The dream of early retirement seemed to slip through Marvin's fingers. Marvin's portfolio was now worth approximately 3 jars of mayonnaise and a half-eaten bag of chips. The reality of his situation hit hard, and he couldn't help but feel a deep sense of regret. He considered selling everything and investing in something more stable, like, say, Beanie Babies, or maybe tulips. Anything seemed better than the roller coaster ride of WoofCoin. But then, just as he was about to click the dreaded sell button, WoofCoin surged again. The thrill of the sudden rise was intoxicating, and Marvin found himself unable to let go. It was like riding a bucking bronco on the surface of the sun. The highs were exhilarating, but the lows were gut-wrenching. Marvin felt like he was living on the edge. Marvin, despite the constant fear sweating, was hooked. The adrenaline rush kept him coming back for more, even though he knew the risks. The WoofCoin roller coaster had him in its grip, and there was no getting off. Section 5, Meme Coin Mania, NyanCatCash and beyond. WoofCoin was just the gateway drug. Soon Marvin discovered the wild world of meme coins. He dabbled in NyanCatCash, a cryptocurrency based on the popular internet meme of a pixelated cat flying through space with a Pop-Tart for a body. Because why not? This was the future of finance, after all. He even threw a few bucks, what was left of them anyway, at something called Dog Rocket Elon Mars, which as far as he could tell, had something to do with Elon Musk, a rocket ship and inexplicably a Shiba Inu wearing a cowboy hat. It was all very confusing, but exhilarating nonetheless. Marvin was riding the wave of the future, even if that wave felt suspiciously like a tsunami of financial uncertainty. Section 6, Reality Bites, a crypto crash course. Then came the crash. Not just a dip, not a correction, but a full-blown pants-on-fire market meltdown. NyanCatCash went to zero. Dog Rocket Elon Mars turned out to be a pump-and-dump scheme orchestrated by a 12-year-old coding prodigy in their pajamas. WoofCoin thankfully stabilized, but only after dropping 80% of its value. Marvin was left with a portfolio that resembled a dumpster fire after a particularly raucous fraternity party. He finally understood the meaning of high risk, high reward. Unfortunately, he'd experienced all the risk with none of the reward. Brenda, bless her soul, resisted the urge to say, "I told you so." Instead, she handed him a cup of chamomile tea and a pamphlet for couples therapy. Section 7, Cashing Out and Sanity Checks. Marvin, humbled and slightly wiser, decided it was time to cash out what little he had left. He sold his remaining WoofCoin for just enough money to buy a year's supply of ramen noodles and a slightly used copy of Investing for Dummies. He bid farewell to the crypto kingdom, vowing to stick to what he knew: index funds, bonds, and the occasional flutter on the lottery. He had learned a valuable lesson about the dangers of speculation, the importance of diversification, and the fact that if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Section 8, Lessons from the Crypto Kingdom. Marvin's wild ride in the crypto kingdom was a cautionary tale, a modern-day parable about the perils of getting caught up in the hype. He learned that investing, like most things in life, requires patience, research, and a healthy dose of skepticism. He also learned that while the allure of quick riches is tempting, it's often a mirage leading to a desert of financial despair. Most importantly, he rediscovered the value of a good night's sleep, something that had eluded him during his time as a self-proclaimed crypto king. He could now sleep soundly, knowing his remaining savings were safely tucked away in a boring, predictable, and dare he say, comforting index fund. Section 9, The Future of Marvin's Finances. Marvin, free from the clutches of the crypto kingdom, returned to his simple life. He still enjoyed his coffee black, but now he savored each sip, knowing he hadn't gambled away his retirement on a digital dog coin. He even started a small garden in his backyard, finding solace in the predictable growth of tomatoes and zucchini. He still checked the price of WoofCoin occasionally, just for kicks. But now he could laugh at the wild fluctuations, knowing he was no longer part of that rollercoaster ride. His days of hodling and battling FUD were over. He was back to clipping coupons with Brenda, and frankly, he'd never been happier. Section 10, Cryptocurrency, a wild ride indeed. The crypto kingdom, with all its absurdity and volatility, remained a mysterious and alluring place. It was a realm where digital coins and tokens ruled, and the rules of traditional finance seemed to be turned on their head. It was a digital Wild West, full of promise and pitfalls, where fortunes could be made and lost in the blink of an eye. Traders, both seasoned and novice, navigated this unpredictable landscape with a mix of hope, fear, and adrenaline. Marvin's adventure served as a reminder that while the world of cryptocurrency might seem exciting and potentially lucrative, it was not for the faint of heart or those with a weak stomach. The constant fluctuations and the ever-present risk of losing everything could be overwhelming. Whether cryptocurrency would revolutionize finance or implode upon itself remained to be seen. Experts and analysts debated endlessly, each with their own predictions and theories about the future of this digital frontier. But one thing was certain: it would continue to be a wild, unpredictable, and often hilarious ride. The stories of sudden wealth and devastating losses would keep coming, each more unbelievable than the last. And Marvin was perfectly content watching from the sidelines, sipping his coffee and tending to his tomatoes. He had learned that sometimes the best way to enjoy the chaos was from a safe distance. He'd had his adventure, and sometimes a little taste of madness is all you need to appreciate the beauty of normalcy. The thrill of the crypto market had given him a new perspective on life, one where he could find joy in the simple everyday moments.